Welcome back to Gold Derby. I'm Christopher Rosen. I'm joined by Joyce Ng, and we are once again, Joyce, for probably the last time talking about our Emmy predictions, at least.
Well, for this year at least.
For this
I don't know your plans for next year.
No, next year we could talk about it. I'm
next
already
year
ready
we'll just
to
be
go.
talking about Succession the entire time.
Succession, Gossip Girl, Never Have I Ever, Loki, Hawkeye. I'm way in. I'm
and Only Murders in the Building and comedy.
Great show. Yeah. Love it. So we have plenty to talk about for next year. But this year, we're still talking about all these other shows. And we're still making our picks. This past weekend was the Creative Arts Emmys. And I have to be perfectly honest, Joyce, I totally changed my picks based on what won at the Creative Arts Emmys.
I mean, I think most people did. I mean, I didn't change them update them until today. I didn't make that many changes, but it sounds like you made a lot. So I don't know if that's accurate or not.
It's pretty accurate. I think in a lot of them I had like maybe people I had hoped would win or thought would win. And now I'm just like, why make this complicated? Go with the obvious pick or the pick that I think is seemingly obvious. So that's how I kind of like went about this. I was like, I could come up with all different reasons why some of these like things would win. But then I'm like, Queen's Gambit won 9 Creative Arts Emmys. I think it's going to win a lot on Sunday. That was my thinking, basically.
Do you think it'll break John Adams' record?
So the John Adams record is what, 19?
No, it's 13.
13, right. Sorry.
So it needs 4 to tie and 5 to break it.
Well, let's see. I'm going to just look quickly here and see if I have that breaking it. Let's see. 1.
You have it sweeping limited. You have it sweeping like the supporting races too, don't you?
I have it winning. I have it tying. I have it 13. 9 plus 4 on Sunday.
Okay.
So we could get to them. We'll start with the top ones, the easy ones, and then we'll get those. Okay. I think.
I mean, that's still limited is still the most interesting genre. So
absolutely, it's the best. So and honestly, like the others, I feel like nothing really changed.
No, not at
anything. Like Claire Foy winning for The Crown was
absolutely iconic. I love how mad everyone is.
I was like, oh, I could have. We talked about this, I think, last week. It's like it was very clear to see like a vote split happening between like McKenna Grace and Alexis Bledel.
Like a total name check. And
total name check.
They do this and like they can make good decisions in the regular acting categories because I feel like they actually watch and like, obviously they're regular actors and characters on a show, but with guests, I feel like they're just like, F it, like who cares?
But I also think it like kind of solidified 1 or 2 of the acting races that I was on the fence for about The Crown, which we'll get to as well. But let's start with comedy, seemingly very straightforward still. Ted Lasso winning comedy series, nothing on the Creative Arts Emmys weekend changed my mind, obviously.
No, I mean, it won what it needed to at Creative Arts and, it got casting. I think also got editing. It overcame like a vote split in editing because I think it had 2 in editing and Hacks had 3 and Flight Attendant, which I mean, in my opinion, deserved editing. Like, come on. But yeah, Flight Attendant didn't win. Although it did win main title theme, which I was very, very surprised by because I was just so pessimistic that like they wouldn't go for it, but I love that theme. But anyway, Ted won that. And yeah, I mean, we know it was gonna win comedy series, so I don't know, like what else is there to say?
Nothing. Congratulations to Ted Lasso, and we'll see. I'll be curious to see. I'm almost more interested in seeing how Ted Lasso performs next year. I'd argue that this season is definitely the second season, which is ongoing, is as good as the first season. And I think it's actually tracking toward a better finale, though we've only seen the first, I think, 8 and they're 12 episodes. So there's still a month left of episodes, but I'll be curious to see how it performs and what ends up being like its main competition next year. Because do you think
Hacks will be back? Well, yeah, Maisel will be back.
Maisel will be back, but maybe not Hacks because like unless they're able to turn around a season pretty quick.
I think they could probably do that because Hacks wrapped filming in March this year and it premiered in May. So
Hacks could be back. Maisel will be back. Flight Attendant should be back.
That won't be back because they're not. I think they're aiming for like a fall premiere next year or something.
Oh, I thought it was winter of this year. You might be right though. You're always right. So I'm sure that's wrong. I feel
like they're more complicated because it's like globe trotting and like she's also like Kaylee's filming that Pete Davidson movie now too. So I don't know, whatever.
Right. Well, we'll see. So
we can have old faces like Atlanta and like Barry.
Oh yeah, right.
So
it'll be more interesting, maybe more interesting next year. But congratulations, Ted Lasso, for this year. For Best Actress in Comedy, Jean Smart. complete blowout. Nothing I see has changed my mind about that. It's been that way for weeks.
Yes, congratulations to her.
Congratulations to Jean.
Hacks didn't win anything creative arts, which is fine. Like, I don't think we really expected it to win anything. You know, it's not that type of show that's like craft heavy. So
the only one would have been like if we would have had a Jane Addams upset. I think that would have like pointed toward perhaps.
Yeah, like I don't think it had a shot in editing because it had 3 episodes there. It wasn't gonna win casting because of Ted, so it's
right.
You know, it's fine. It's not an Emmy winning show yet.
No, will be by Sunday though. For Gene, comedy actor Ted Jason Sudeikis, obvious win. Okay. Nothing else to say.
Let's move on.
Supporting actress. So I was on the fence here for a lot of it, as you know. I was like, oh, Hannah Einbinder.
You name like half the people, or like you've picked like half the people in this category.
But after the creative arts, and I was just like, it's obviously going to be Hannah Waddingham. So no kidding. So I have her winning.
Yeah, I think she'll do it. She's, you know, like you could debate season 2 and like Rebecca's storyline on it, but I think for like season 1, like she was definitely like the like second most like raved performance and like beloved performance after Jason. So congratulations to her as well.
So comedy supporting actor actually has been very close in our race and our odds and between Brett Goldstein, Kenan Thompson, and Bowen Yang. After the Ted Lasso weekend, though, I actually did switch back to Brett Goldstein. I was like, I just think it's the obvious pick to me. Like, you have the 2 SNL guys maybe splitting. Brett is the clear Ted Lasso actor, I think, of that group. Even though there are 4 nominees from the show, I don't think he's going to vote split. And I was just like, it won casting, like you said. I just think like people like him. He's been, of all the nominees, like the most present. I feel like he does tons of interviews, and like they've been talking a lot about, obviously based on like season 2,
and Hannah have been everywhere.
And I just think that's going to be enough. And I think like people really like his character, and that's it. So I just have him winning. That I've gone now.
I just switched to him. Like, yeah, I think he, of like everyone in Ted Lasso, has benefited the most from season 2. Just because of like Roy's storyline, and like, you know, he had those like 2 episodes. Was it last month? I don't know, but like,
it was right during voting. Yeah,
it was like right. It was like the Love Actually thing, and then like the rom-com thing, like Rainbow. So yeah, he got a lot of good ink, and yeah, like his character's arc, you know, he's at the forefront of the season, and I feel like that's just gonna be top of mind. I'll be enough for him to overcome his co-stars. And you know, we just saw like Dave Chappelle overcome a 4-way split with SNL. That
also was in my mind, because I was just like, Chappelle was the obvious pick, right? Like, and it was like we tried to like tie ourselves in knots over him not winning, but I was like, it's just the obvious pick. Like, he won, and I'm like, I feel like the same thing with Brett. So that's why I went with Brett.
Who do you have in second? I think
I have Kenan. I still have Kenan in second. And then Bowen in third.
You have Kenan in second because Bowen encouraged people to vote for Kenan.
Yes, pretty much. Comedy directing is next on our list. I still have Ted Lasso biscuits, but I'm so close to switching to Flight Attendant. I don't really know why. And I know it kind of, like you said, like it overcame, there's 3 Ted Lasso episodes here. So like it could easily vote split, but I just think it's going to overcome that. And like Biscuits was the one directed by Zach Braff, and people seem to like that one a lot. Like we said, it's hard to tell the difference often between these, but that's the one that
I feel like people like Make Rebecca Great Again a lot, and then, you know, that kills you is the finale. Like
I know. I don't know. I'm sticking with Biscuits, but I really, really want to put Flight Attendant in there. I just think it could win.
Yeah, like Flight Attendant would be very deserving, and it won DGA in like a double vote split. So I had that for a while, but I switched to Hacks a couple weeks ago, and I think I'll probably stick with it because of the triple Ted in here, and we've seen like directing be really votes splitty, even believe is Hacks in this case. So I think I'll stick with Hacks.
All right. Comedy writing.
I still have Hacks.
I went with Ted. I went with the pilot for Ted Lasso. I'm just like, I'm going on in Ted Lasso. That's it. I was like, it's the obvious one. Of course they love Ted Lasso. Like, I think they're just going to go down the line and check all the boxes. And I think it's Ted Lasso's pilot, even though I don't even think that's like it wouldn't even be on the list of best episodes from the first season. I still think it's going to win.
I have like Make Rebecca Great Again in second, and like the pilot, the Ted pilot in third.
I mean, I can't disagree. I think the Make Rebecca Great Again is a much better episode, but I just think people are going to be like, I love Ted Lasso. Pilot, great, check.
Yeah, like pilots do well in like writing and directing, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can be persuaded to switch to Ted, but then I'm just like, which one will I pick?
Right. I don't, like I said, like I just was like, I think like I could come up with a lot of different reasons, but the end result is like people like Ted Lasso. It's going to win a lot of awards, and it has no reason to lose this. I think we'd be like, and I guess you're right. Like Make Rebecca Great Again is the better episode, but I mean, like everybody knows that pilot. So it's just like, that's what I think is going to win. I can't, like, it's just like a weird, I can't even convince you otherwise. I'm just like, that's it. I just think it's so obvious.
No, like I think it has a better chance of overcoming vote splitting here than in directing, because there's fewer nominees, or you know, like of its own episodes nominated here. So
right.
But I don't know. I guess it kind of looks weird if like it wins series without writing directing, but like Veep's done that. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm in on this. That was it for comedy. So congrats, Ted Lasso doing really well. I think maybe we'll see some hacks stuff in there, but certainly for Gene. But we'll see. I think comedy will be, like we said at the top of this, I think comedy will be very interesting next year, more so than it was this year as a category. Let's switch to drama series. Also kind of a little boring, but The Crown seemingly obviously will win best drama series. Nothing changed my mind. Or the Creative Arts Emmys, it's like the clear favorite and will win.
Yep. I don't know.
Nothing else to say.
No, nothing else. Yeah, this is kind of boring.
Best actress, I remain Emma Corrin. I think I still think MJ Rodriguez has a really good shot, but I think Emma Corrin will win because I think, again, just like that performance is so strong and people really liked her, and it's like kind of like a discovery perhaps of like an actress and all these different things. There's a million reasons that we've talked about of why she's going to win, so I think she's going to win. Yeah,
so like for both leads, I can be convinced to go away from The Crown, like Josh O'Connor, an actor as well. I still have both of them, but yeah, I could see them winning just one of them, but then it's like, which one? And I guess like, I think a lot of people want MJ to win, and I can see her winning definitely. And I think people are also encouraged by Pose winning 3 Creative Arts Emmys. But, you know, like those are just like those craft branches voting, like, you know, costumes and makeup voting for those categories. So they're not voting for like acting. Actors vote for acting. So like there's no overlap there. Yeah, so I can be convinced to change, but right now I still have both Emma and Josh winning.
So I'm not going to convince you to change off of Josh, because I had been on Billy Porter for the entire run here, and now I've just switched to Josh because of again, like you said, like The Crown, the Claire Foy win to me was like, while we understand the vote split and everything, I was just like, they're just going to check off The Crown. And I was like, I'm trying to like make a case for Billy Porter for winning again and being like a repeat winner. And people really liked Pose in the final season. And then in the end, I was like, Josh O'Connor, it just seems so like, I feel like that's one that we're going to watch and be like, no kidding, he won. Of course he won.
I guess like on paper, like a Billy Emma combo would look, or like it would make more sense than like a Josh and MJ combo.
Yes. I can still see that happening, but I was just like, the other thing is, the other thing that swayed me is I was talking to normals this weekend, who, you know, just people who just watch stuff regular.
Yeah.
Just the plebes. And they were like talking about The Crown, and they were like, oh, you know who was wonderful? The guy who played Prince Charles. And I was like, this is just a regular person talking about the show who has no idea who even that actor is. And I was like, I wonder if, like, I guess if you do watch it, like I'd been hung up on the fact that he's such a villain, basically, or a very unlikable character on the show. But I'm like, he's really quite good. And I think he's like a standout thing for people. And it kind of would remind me of like Kendall, Jeremy Strong winning. It's the same kind of thing. I think it's a villainous character that you feel kind of badly for in the end. And I think that's going to help him overcome some of the unlikable qualities of Charles.
Yeah, I don't know, because it's funny because, people were like shocked by Claire Foy's win, but then, Charles Dance was like heavily predicted to win and he lost.
Right.
And like that just confirmed what I said last week, that he is this year's James Cromwell, because he wasn't nominated for his first season and then did less his second season, and everyone thought he was going to win. Then he lost, but his like female counterpart won Guest Actress.
Right. Yeah, very true.
So I don't know. So it's like, it's not like, the Crown didn't win both Guest acting races like a lot of people. I mean, it won one, but not the one people thought it would win.
Exactly. I had Dance winning, and then I was like, oh, and it was interesting that Courtney B. Vance won for Lovecraft Country, not our boy Timothy Olyphant for Mandalorian, which I think was like the expected.
Or
maybe.
Our boy Don Cheadle.
Right. Maybe next year for Don. Maybe he pops up in Hawkeye. Supporting actress Gillian Anderson, again, no surprise there. Feels like a total fait accompli.
Yep. Yeah. Congrats to her as well. Like, what do you think we've talked like the least about, this or like Jason?
I think this, honestly, because I just feel like there's been no doubt that she's going to win the entire time.
Yeah.
And
Who do you have in second?
I have Ann Dowd, just because it's Ann Dowd. I mean,
I have Samira.
Sure. It could be her. I'm like, yeah, like any of those are fine. I'm just like, none of them have enough to be Gillian Anderson, like at all. Like we could have talked ourselves maybe into like a Michael Douglas for best comedy actor or something, but I'm like, none of these other people, I can't imagine winning. Supporting actor, I had long had Tobias Menzies. I'm switching to Michael K. Williams, not obviously because he died tragically last week, but because Lovecraft Country, because of Courtney B. Vance win at the Creative Arts Emmys, I just felt like, oh, there is actual support for Lovecraft Country, and I think Michael K. Williams is going to win. I just think that there's not as much support for Tobias Menzies, and that's the reason I switched back.
Yeah, well, as you know, I've had Giancarlo this entire time, basically, but I also have switched to MK Dubs. Again, not like you, not because he tragically passed last week and his death has no impact on the results because voting closed
right
before.
Correct.
So let's make that clear. But yeah, like I think it's good. It bodes well for him that Courtney won the guest category, and it's not like he's overdue because he won for OJ or anything. I guess it could be kind of name checky, but I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, and then like again, different branch, but like Lovecraft also won sound editing, which was kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
So I guess there is like some support in like different branches, and I could see, and he is like Michael K. Williams is like so respected and beloved, and I know like a lot of people want him to be an Emmy winner, and I've always felt that's why like he's always predicted whenever he's nominated. And yeah, like this category is open enough for him to actually finally win now, and sadly he won't be there to accept it.
Yeah, like that was the other thing, like while like we said, like the voting is obviously long closed before he died, but like the outpouring of like like tributes and praise for him as an actor, I was like, oh, like he's so beloved in the industry. It just felt like I think like he would have been like a chalk check for people, like because they like him so much, right? Like when they were voting, and comparatively to like the rest. No, but I mean, all these actors in this category are actually like really strong and very well liked. I just think like he feels like it just feels like he was going to win. And like maybe I was like the only reason I was like figuring out him not to win is because I thought The Crown was just so obvious and overbearing for Tobias. But I'm like, I think it's just going to be Michael K. Williams. Maybe it was a different actor.
Like the category is like soft enough where he was never like a Gillian Anderson like lock or anything, but no. it kind of felt like he was kind of like the default front runner. But I think like that's also enough. Like he's also great on the show. Yeah. And he'll be the first Black winner in the category. Mm-hmm. It's the only acting category left without a Black winner.
Yeah, that's awesome. Drama directing, I have The Crown, Fairy Tale. I've had that for a while. That's the Prince Charles and Princess Diana one.
Yeah, I switched to that too. I had like Mando for a while and then I switched to Fairy Tale. So now I have like Fairy Tale and like War in one too.
And then War winning for writing. Kind of similar thought
Yes.
to the Ted Lasso ones, where I'm like, if it's going to win series, which it obviously is, it's probably, the safe bet is to pick it in these other two categories.
Well, I mean, the good thing for the Crown is like there's no vote split possibility here in writing.
Correct, in writing. All right, so let's move to limited series. This is the most exciting one, as we talked about. And the most, I think I changed my picks because I was like, just because of the way Queen's Gambit dominated.
I think a lot of people did.
The creative arts. Yeah, not unique. For series, I've had it winning the whole time. And I still have it winning. I actually pushed WandaVision up into second ahead of Mayor of Easttown overall, but I still have Queen's Gambit winning.
Yeah, I put Queens back in first. I still have I have Mayor in second. I don't think I think like Queen's performance at Creative Arts, I think, yeah, like the hall was a lot. I think that's what's most surprising, that it was 9, not I think we were probably expecting maybe 6 or 7. It won cinematography, which is over Underground Railroad. But then it's we knew they did not watch Underground Railroad. But it also won sound mixing over WandaVision. So I feel it's just they're not sick of it.
Right. That was the big thing.
Think they might be. And I think the thing is people like us and TV fans, we might be sick of it. But for these people, they're in their bubbles and they're not following the stuff like us. And they want their chance. If they are not if they haven't voted for before in the Winter Awards or anything, they want to vote for it here, this is their chance, even though it's 11 months old.
Exactly right. I totally agree with everything you just said. And that's actually why, to move on to the next, that's why I switched to Anya, excuse me, to the live 1D fan who corrected us last time, or whatever the account was. Anya Taylor-Joy. I moved her back into first over Kate Winslet. I just think it's definitely the close. I feel like it's the closest race probably in our odds. And I think Kate maybe is still ahead overall, though I have to double check. But yeah, I was just I don't know. I think that people want her. They want to give Anya Taylor-Joy, the Emmys want their chance to do what the Globes, everybody did last year, which is hey, this is a breakout star that everybody really likes now, is on magazine covers and all these different things. And Kate Winslet's great, but she's done it before and it's not new. And Anya Taylor-Joy is new and the show we loved, so we're going to pick her. That's why I switched back.
So I kept Kate still.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I could still change to ATJ before Sunday.
That's true. We're doing this on Wednesday, so
yeah. So here's my thing. I also kind of like to be contrarian, but I don't think it's not Mare got completely demolished at Creative Arts, because we were not expecting it to win a ton. It's just not that type of show. Queen's Gambit was always going to make a killing at Creative Arts. And the fact that Mare won production design was huge for it. It beat Handmaid's Tale, which it's never lost a category. And, that was big for it. Yeah, it's contemporary. So the only big loss it suffered at Creative Arts was casting, which I still think it deserved, just because that building that community, casting all those actors, I think is more of a feat than I think casting Anya in that role is great because it's a star making performance, but I think casting all those different characters in Easttown is much harder to make it feel realistic. But anyway, so I think that's it's only big loss there. So, and I think we talked about this last week, I think every year after Creative Arts, we kind of are influenced by whatever won the most there. That's and true. Then we think it's going to win a ton at the main ceremony. And sometimes that's not true. Last year, Succession, similarly did not win a ton, but again, it's not that type of show that would win a lot. It did win casting, which was big for it, and guest actress. But, Mando won a lot last year. And then, Game of Thrones, always won a ton of Creative Arts. And then for the last 2 years, it won series and Dinklage.
Right.
So the actors still haven't had their say yet for the limited categories, because there's no guest limited. So like I don't think like Mirror or like anything else can win series anymore since every branch votes for series. So I think that's like Queens. But if like, you know, the actors disproportionately like Mare or just like Kate more than like the other four nominees, like I think she can still win.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
I could definitely see her winning, like I said, and like I just looked, she's about 100, they're neck and neck in the odds combined, and like overall from users, Kate has like 100 point lead basically, which is not very much. Like a lot of these are just like complete blowouts. But I still think Annie's gonna win. I totally agree with everything you're saying, and I could
Yeah,
see
like
Kate
Anya
winning.
definitely fits the mold of like they're like younger actors winning recently.
Yeah.
Like Zendaya and even like
Mhm.
Julia Garner, and like Jarrell Jerome. So
Yeah, I just think like we're gonna look back and be like, of course
oh no,
Anya
like I
won.
totally agree.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like
No, I know. I'm just
wins.
saying. Uh,
But like should we like what about the other three? Like this is still a stack category
so
and
I moved Michaela Cole up to 3 because I think that that show also I May Destroy You did pretty well, relatively speaking, at the Creative Arts. So I was
it
like,
won music supervision over
right,
Queen's Gambit.
right. So I was
Which
like,
I was upset
okay.
about because I had that forever and then I switched to Queen's Gambit.
I still think Queen's Gambit should have won that one, but okay, that's fine. And then I have Elizabeth Olsen and Cynthia Revo, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
But
I think if anyone, yeah, like if like the passion for any of these will like carry them to the win. So it's just I don't think any of them are weak. It's just like Queen's Gambit overall is like really strong.
yeah,
And that like could also be enough for like Anya to win.
that's also why I have Anya winning, is because I think if you loved Queen's Gambit, you loved her. And I think if you loved Mayor of Easttown, you had a lot of different reasons to love it. Like Kate is obviously amazing on it, but like there's more color around the edges
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff,
more
like
of
you
an
said.
ensemble, but I would still argue that like it was still like the Kate show because like
Yes, but
you
I'm
know
just saying, like, whatever. All right, so for movie, for limited best actor in limited series or movie, or I have had Paul Bettany. No, I went back to you, Grant. I'm going down with the ship. I'm just doing it.
I mean I'm proud of you for doing that because you said you were going to. So.
I flirted with Paul. I'll tell you what, WandaVision didn't do super well at the Creative Arts, even though it won, I think, 3 total, right? Of its or did it win just 1? I forget. I think it won
No,
3.
it won how many did it win?
Let me look here. I thought it won 3. Let's see.
Yeah, I think it won 3 because it won Agatha All Along, and then it won like categories where it wasn't against like Queen's Gambit besides like song.
Agatha All Along, it won for outstanding original music and lyrics. It won for production design for a narrative program half hour. And then it won for let's see, where's the last one? Outstanding fantasy and sci-fi costumes. So not poorly, and it's the first Marvel Emmy wins ever. So congratulations to Marvel. I think that studio's going places. I don't actually know. It seems they might have a little bit
studio that could. Who knew?
But yeah, I'd love to see Paul win. But the reason I switch back to you, I'm just like, I just love that performance. I think Hugh Grant's great, and I don't know. I'll just go down with the ship. He might not win, like we said. Like the deck is stacked against him because Undoing had 2 nominations and it well underperformed. It should have gotten like way more, at least based on our like going into the Emmys odds. And WandaVision overperformed. It's already won 3 times. People like that show, obviously. So Paul is definitely, like, in my mind, the favorite, and he should be. But I'm just gonna stick with you. I think why not?
Like, yeah, I'm gonna stick with Paul.
Nice.
But I can honestly see any of them winning. Like this category is just not very strong and it's like so chaotic. It's I understand like the general feeling that like Paul is not like the likely place you want to like award WandaVision. And yeah, like The Undoing, didn't really stick the landing, but like, he was great on it. And even though it didn't get a lot of nominations, like it's still just the actors voting on this award.
Right.
so he could still win. And like last year, Mark Ruffalo was the only nomination for his show and he won, and no one watched that. Like, we know people watch The Undoing.
Right. People like The Undoing more than whatever.
I know this much is true.
I know this much is true that I forgot the title. That's how
and then you
memorable.
have like the Hamilton dudes.
I don't think they're gonna win. I still have a hard time believing that.
And then
actually.
like Ewan.
And I don't think Ewan's gonna win. Not for that.
Yeah. I mean,
for supporting actress, I'm sticking with Catherine Hahn, WandaVision. Nothing. Even I flirted with the idea of maybe Moses Ingram from Queen's Gambit, or Julianne Nicholson, but no, I'm going Catherine Hahn. It just seems obvious.
I think even though it's different branches, like Agatha all along winning bodes well for her.
Yeah.
So I'll just keep her, and I have Julianne in second. So
I have Moses in second and Julianne in third. I don't think Moses. I was shocked she even got nominated. Like, this would have been the Mariel Heller nomination in theory for what people expected. And I think if she was nominated, maybe it would have been a little different, just because her part is bigger than Moses's. But Moses does have.
I think if Bill Camp had been nominated,
things
would be different.
So next category is that, and I actually, against better judgment, I don't even really believe this. I popped Thomas Brodie Sangster into first over Evan Peters.
I mean, I can see it. Like, I don't think Evan is a lock by any means. I think it's like a case of people also wanting him to win as well. And he's good in Mare. I love Drunk Zabes, but he's
so
no
good.
lock.
The reason I think this one maybe will be a hindsight obvious one too. My rationale is, we all expected Bill Camp to get nominated. If you gave me a list of male supporting actors on Queen's Gambit who should have been nominated, I don't even think I'd have Thomas Brodie Sangster in the top 3 or 4, maybe, because I thought Harry Melling was better, and like that character was great. And the photographer, her friend, I actually forget the actor's name. Everybody was really good, and Bill Camp obviously is the main guy who I think people expect to get nominated here. So the fact that Thomas Brodie Sangster got nominated, I think, is like a red flag for him to win, because like clearly the voters saw something in that performance. He is pretty charming and like kind of like a raconteur. I don't know. I just think based on how it performed so well, I think it's like we're gonna look at it and be like, no kidding, he won, and so that's why I put him in.
Oh yeah, no, I think he has a better chance of winning than Moses of the two supporting ones, and he could totally just be a coattail, because I think he also benefited from sharing nearly all of his scenes with Anya.
Nailed it. That's another great point, and actually then why I put him up there, because I think she's gonna win, and if she wins, he'll win by osmosis, basically.
I know. I guess like, I mean, like if you were a voter, like would you vote that way? Like if you like, let's say you vote for Anya in lead, like are you just automatically just gonna vote for like TBS and supporting actor just because you?
I don't. I don't know. I mean, I feel like
I wouldn't vote that way. Like I would treat every category like as its own.
I would too, and I would also like not have such a maybe like a bad faith look at the Television Academy voters, but I'm just like, I wouldn't vote like that either. But at the same time, like, would I guess if I was voting, would I just want to vote for what I like the best and think should win, or would I feel like that's just a waste of my vote? So like if I was looking at this category and let's say I was like, you know what, like actually Papa Asiedu should win. He's great on I May Destroy You, and I'm going to vote for him, but he has no shot of winning really, right? If you look at our, relatively speaking, I mean, I guess this category is could have an upset, but do I want to actually vote for him if I don't think my vote will matter in that regard? I don't know how people think about it.
Every vote matters, Chris. Come on.
I guess
like, I don't vote like that, because I would just vote for my favorite, and I don't care if they end up winning or not.
Right. I guess that's basically
I don't need to be on the winning team, and like I'm proud to say that like I voted for, like I wouldn't, like I would be fine saying like I voted for Anthony Ramos if he was
right. Okay, I think so too, but I'm like, I wonder if people are just like, forget it, we're just gonna vote.
Like I think like there is that mentality. It's like I want to vote for the winner and say I voted for the winner as well, and just like I'm sure there are people who generally just like Thomas Brodie Sangster the most.
Yeah, he's a cute. I mean, he's very charming and like very nice. Movie limiting, directing, and writing. I've had Queen's Gambit the whole time in directing. I still think it's going to win, and I moved it up in writing ahead of I May Destroy You based on the creative arts. I think it's going to win everything.
Yeah, like I think directing and series is going to match. Like it doesn't is not suffering from a vote split, like a triple vote split like Watchmen last year, since Scott Frank directed all of it. He also wrote it. I still kept I May Destroy You in writing. I flirted with like switching to Queens. I have it in second. And yeah, I can see Queens just sweeping. We talked about this like a couple months. Well, it feels like months, but it was probably just a couple weeks ago. But like, is it just safer? Like we were talking about the Crown, but like, is it just safer to just predict the Crown everywhere and just even if you think it's going to lose like one or two, but you don't know which one, so you just take the hit wherever it falls? Like, should we just be doing that with Ted and the Crown and Queen's Gambit?
That's kind of how I went about my picks. I was just like, these are the three shows that I think are going to win the most and are obvious favorites, and that's why I'm just like, let's just go down with the ship. If one of, like, honestly, at this point, if Queen's Gambit didn't win directing and writing, that would be like a major upset, I think, right? Like it feels like it just is like a favorite to win those.
Like series and directing, I think so, yes. Like writing, I mean, I think this could just be like our bubble where like we all maybe like our hope dictating like Michaela to win.
Yes.
But yeah, it could easily just like win writing as well. But like we've seen, you know, in recent years, like Big Little Lies swept, but David E. Kelly didn't win for writing. Like
true.
You know, so I think there are like writing can be like a little more idiosyncratic. So yeah, and I think what's kind of like frustrating to people like us and also people who follow this is like there are like literally 500 shows on the air and a lot of good TV shows at that, some not very good. And like after Sunday, like the TV Academy could just be acting like there are only 3 shows on the air, like Ted Lasso,
yes.
The Crown.
And I think that's what they're going to be like. I honestly do. I think that's what it's going to be like. 3 shows. That's it.
Yeah.
We could burn through these next 3 pretty quick. I haven't changed anything. RuPaul for competition, Last Week Tonight for talk, and Saturday Night Live for sketch. You're still on board with those 3, right?
Yeah, although I really want Conan to win.
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, I have him in second.
I put Colbert in second, though I'm actually tempted to change that because I think the momentum that Colbert had when he did his pandemic shows has long since waned, and his return to the studio has led to diminishing returns for that show overall. But whatever, I guess I don't think people pay attention to it that much. I think you're right. Conan will be second because like people like Conan, and it's his end. That's it. You're never going to get to vote for Conan again. The next 3, these are the final 3 we got. I actually want to save Variety Special Recorded for last, so we'll just do Variety Special Live. I remain celebrating America, the Biden inauguration. I still have it winning.
Sure.
And for series writing, Variety series writing, John Oliver, Last Week Tonight, still have it winning.
Yes.
So Variety Special Recorded, Hamilton remains like a huge favorite. I actually still have it winning, but I'm very tempted to switch to Bo Burnham. Daniel wrote an article for the site the other day and was like, I'm going to change. He like convinced himself to change. I actually think I might change.
He convinced himself to change while writing it.
Yeah, I think I might change too. Bo Burnham Special really performed well on the Creative Arts. I think it won 3, right? Or let's see, at least 3.
He won 3.
And it's up here against Hamilton. I think the Hamilton nominations lead you to believe that it would win here, but I wonder how much of that was just like, we're just going to check it off to nominate it. And like, is there any enthusiasm to give Hamilton an Emmy here for more than, for a 15-month-old movie and like a 5-year-old production? I don't know. I don't think there is. I think the Bo Burnham one is more timely, and I think people will vote for it.
Yeah, I still have Hamilton, but I would switch to Bo for those same reasons. And yeah, I don't know, like I feel like they could just be super lazy. Like they could just be lazy and check everything like Ted Lasso, Crown, and Queen's Gambit, and people really love Hamilton. So
I think if they were lazy though, then they'll just check Bo, because like people were just like checking him off in the Creative Arts. Then I don't know. I just think
I think that like, I mean, I think more people watch Hamilton than Bo Burnham.
Yes.
Inside. So, and because it's like every branch voting for programs, I think that's why like Hamilton can still win.
Right. And it had all the acting nominations. I guess for Bo, the one other thing I would say is like, if you're an older Academy member who has like a kid at home, like who's a teenager, you definitely know that exists and probably have been told it's good. So that's the I'm just like, I don't know. I could just see it winning. I think, and it would be a very deserving winner. I really like that
Oh
special.
yeah, no, I could totally see it winning as well. Hamilton.
It's hard to pick
is,
against
like,
Hamilton, but I was just like, I don't know. Is there any enthusiasm for it? I just don't believe there is.
I
So
don't
if it
think so.
does
Like
win,
I do think I did think like I think 13 nominations were just because of the unlimited nomination ballot. Like they could just list off as many as they want. But then I'm also like, now that they're faced to pick one winner, like I don't know, maybe like some people haven't seen Inside.
that's
You know?
true.
I feel like it's the most seen. So like I do want to predict Bo. So I mean, it kind of feels weird that he would win like writing, directing, and not the series. You know,
That's really it. I mean, like it's like more people have obviously seen Hamilton, and the same kids, if for these straw man Academy, television Academy men and women, I'm inventing at a whole cloth. If they have teenagers at home watching Bo Burnham Inside, they definitely have watched Hamilton probably 30 times on Disney Plus. So I'm like, it's not hard to imagine that Hamilton just wins as like an obvious winner.
I feel like more people watch like the Friends reunion than Bo.
Well, I actually had, the funny thing is I had Hamilton winning, and I had the Friends reunion for a long time actually in second, because I was just like, the pervasiveness of the Friends reunion maybe actually is bigger.
I feel like that only lasted for like those like 12 days.
Yeah.
You know, like when it premiered.
I just think if it was going to lose this, he would have lost one of writing or directing, and that he won both, I think is a strong show of support for this special. And I think people did watch it, maybe not as much as Hamilton, but probably more recently than Hamilton. Like, I don't think anybody went back and was like, I'm going to watch Hamilton again.
But I know a lot of people who just like to rewatch Hamilton.
That's true. We just rewatched it recently. So.
I've seen it once in my life, but a lot of people
rewatch it.
Like go back to it, which is fine. You know, I have shows I go back to all the time, like my comfort shows. But yeah, so I think it would have been interesting if like Hamilton and Bo had faced off for directing, but Thomas Kail is nominated for like limited directing, not the variety directing, which Bo won. So I think that could have like maybe helped us a little bit, but they didn't face off there. So
that's true. I'm teetering now going back to Hamilton, but I'm probably gonna switch.
I know. I basically just kept my current picks for like all these close races, like Kate and Anya, and like Hamilton and Bo, and so. But I could be persuaded.
Joyce, let's wrap up here. A great Emmy season. I'm sure we'll talk about. I think we'll talk probably on.
We'll
Monday.
do a debrief. I guess I don't know, Monday or something.
Yeah, that'll be great. It'll be so much fun to talk about the show. It's Sunday night, 8:00 on CBS with Cedric the Entertainer as host. Excited to see how it turns out and see how they do with
it'll be in person this year, unlike last year.
Yeah, in person with like a somewhat limited audience.
Yeah,
and
limited audience
outside.
Yeah, so we'll see how many people are there. We know Jennifer Aniston is not going.
No, she's got to be. She's got to get ready to check out those morning show hot takes. The show comes back on Friday.
I know it's on this Friday. It's coming back.
Wait.
I know.
I'm excited.
She's all right. So
that's another one for next year. All right, Joyce, this is fun. I'll talk to you on Sunday.